morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach, for this opportunity. And as she has said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. And I can tell you, you are not going to be leaving here the same. Thank you so much, Omar. Thank you for all your excitement. Okay, so my name is Damio Gutade. I'm a purposeful personal brand coach. So today I'm going to be talking about finding you. Finding you. Very powerful topic because I can relate to it 100%. And I'm going to be starting with, okay, so let me just quickly say hi to people in the comment section first. Okay, I'll just call you randomly so that I can familiarize myself with some names. Hello, Hayo, Idowu, Gloria, Emmanuel, Tosin, Oma, Paul, Riley, Rita. Okay, so hello everyone. And let's get right into what we are here for, right? So finding you, finding me, finding you, finding me. How do we go about this and why the statement in the first place? If you're trying to find something, it means that probably at some point it has been misplaced or it has been dropped where it's not meant to be, or you misplaced it, right? So when you're finding you, it means that at some point, in life, you lost yourself because we all came to this world as a clean slate, in a clean slate, with a clean slate. It means that everything you know today was deposited inside you, right? Except, okay, your gifts or your talents that you brought from, that God put inside you, which I'm also going to be talking about today as well. So it means that at some point, something went wrong. Probably someone told you what is not, or you saw something that is not and you assume that it was. Do you understand? Something definitely went wrong along the way, and that is why you are now looking for yourself, because you dropped yourself along the way. And let me start with my story, right? Okay. I I am, not let me say I used to, no. I am a chartered accountant, right? And I was working um, as an auditor, an internal auditor in a company, right? I worked there for quite a while, and but after a while, I felt very unfulfilled on the job. I felt like the job was not for me. I felt out of place because I'm someone that loves to interact with people. I'm someone that loves to love people. Do you understand? And now being in a situation whereby everybody is suspecting every of your move, right? If you try to show love, they will believe that, okay, you're trying to get information from them. I'm sure you can relate with this. If you have auditors in your company, or you've worked in a place, or maybe you've worked as an internal auditor of the police of the company, you are looking into everybody's activities, you're trying to make sure things are done the right way and all of that, or being concerned truly with for people was seen like, okay, I'm just trying to get, probably I'm trying to investigate something, I'm trying to get something out of people. And it was out of place for me. It was out of place for me, but I still had to keep up with things and just do my work, right? But at some point, I could not, I had to change my job, right? I had to change from what I was doing because I was already getting depressed because everybody literally sees me like the devil set them up or something like that. Do you understand? If it fits your personality, definitely that would have been fine, but it did not fit with mine. It didn't at all. And having to sit down as well and just ordering people, directing people, signing papers, investigating and all of that also did not sit down well with me because I'm someone that loves to go around and all that. So I had to leave and I had to start finding myself again because I was told that, okay, whatever job you are meant to do in life is meant to be okay. What you went to school to do, then you just get a job and just go on with life like that. So I had started asking myself questions like, is this all life is all about? Is this what we are meant to just be in life, like just exist, go to work, come back, eat, sleep, give birth, and die? Just like that. Is that all life is all about? Then I had to start searching, reading a lot of books, attending a lot of seminars, asking a lot of people that have gone ahead of me questions. I had to get coaches as well. I had to get mentors and all of that. And I started asking questions and things started getting clearer. Then that was where I knew that I needed to find myself. Then I started my journey of self-discovery. Then I started finding out, okay, who am I really? Not what people have told me, not what I studied in school, not what I have been projected to be. Who am I when nobody is there? Who am I when there is nobody to tell me who I am? Who I am? Who am I really? Then then I started just answering a lot of questions. What are the things I love to do? What are the things I enjoy doing? What are the things people come to me for? I hope you're paying attention to these questions, although I'm going to be talking about it as well. Do you understand? So that was how it went. So let's now go into this. If you have ever asked yourself, is this all life is all about? Please let me see your comments in the chat box. Have you ever asked yourself that question before? Is this all life is all about? Or is this really my life? Or what happened to my dreams? What happened to me? You just got to that realization, that point of realization that what happened to me? Wow. So I'm happy some of you can relate because the truth is, life is really more than all that we are seeing. Because I can tell you, you are in the right room. So now, one more thing is, if you're currently doing your best, yet something feels off, like you feel so unfulfilled, let me see your comment in the chat box as well. If you feel unfulfilled about where you are or what you are doing or anything at all. Okay, thank you so much, Paul, for that response and other people as well. So we are in the right room. We are all in the same bus, trying to drive ourselves to a particular place. So the truth is, I understand that feeling, just like you have heard from my story. And the word I can call it is unfulfillment or misalignment. Something just went off along the road. Something went off along your journey of life. It might be maybe you married so early. It might be maybe you didn't find yourself before you got married, and you got very boxed up into the whole responsibility of being a wife, being a sister, being a mother, being a sister-in-law, being a daughter-in-law, and all of that. Or you find yourself in a job that you hate, and you just hate waking up in every Monday, right? So it's called misalignment. Something has just gone wrong. So, as I've already told you my story, the truth is, I got really exhausted and I had to do something about it. So, one of the questions you need to ask yourself here is, who are you when no one needs anything from you? Who are you if today somebody just gives you $10 billion and tells you you don't have to work again for the rest of your life? What is that thing that you will still do every day of your life? What is that thing that excites you? What is that thing you can do the whole day without even thinking of, oh, the time is going? Do you understand? These were some of the questions I had to ask myself. So I want you to take time out to just process that information right now. And another truth I want you to understand is you can be productive and still be lost. Just like I told you, I was on the job, I was doing my best. But the truth is, I was lost. I was unfulfilled. I hated Mondays. And it was simply because I was misaligned. I did not know who I was. I define myself based on what people have told me. An analogy I want to use to explain this is when you meet somebody for the first time and you like the person, one of the things we usually want to do is to get to know the person. But the number one person you have met all your life, have you ever tried to know you? Have you tried to pay attention to you? Or you are full of the noise of people around you? You need to quiet your time. I remember then what I used to do. I wake up in the midnight. I would sit down, take time out to pray, then just sit down and meditate on some of these questions I just asked you right now. I'll think back to my childhood. One of the things I also did, please pay attention to this. One of the things I also did was I asked my colleagues questions, because the truth is, before you know yourself. So one of the ways you would also pay attention to something like that is, what are the things people come to you for most of the time? And there's a story I usually tell, a story of I went for my sister's husband's birthday then, and the MC disappointed them. And she was like, why did I even get an MC when I have you? And I'm like, me? Are you serious? I was laughing. But the truth is, I did it and I enjoyed myself throughout the whole time. I didn't feel pressured. It was like a second nature to me. So what is that thing people come to you for? It means they have seen something that you do so well. What is that thing that comes so natural to you? You need to pay attention to those things. The truth is, when you don't know yourself, You keep saying yes to the things that are slowly draining you, the things that don't bring the best out of you, the things that you ought to say no to. You would say yes to the things you need to say no to and say no to the things you need to say yes to. So if you are here and you have ever said yes and immediately regretted it, let me see you. Let me know in the chat box. And it's not because you are weak. It's just because you don't have enough clarity about yourself. When you find yourself is like using a Google map and you are going to a place, everything just falls in place. Everything just begins to fall in place. And this is why a lot of us are running, but running in the wrong direction. And that is the worst place you can ever be. It is better to move slowly, but move slowly in the right direction than for you to be running with a lot of speed, but get to the finish line and find out that that was not even the finish line in the first place because you will get lost along the road or you will never find that finish line and you will never be given a medal. So take time out to really let this thing sink in. If you are finding yourself, it is not an overnight thing. It's something you have to do over a period of time. You have to be aware of the things going on in your life. Answer these critical questions I've asked you and many others. You need to be able to be in a place without distractions and answer these questions. You can ask your parents some of these childhood stories. I remember the childhood story my mom told me then, that when I was a child, I would gather all my cousins, all of them, and carry cane and be telling them what to do. And to them, they thought I was controlling as a child. But now everything is playing out and everything is making sense. I remember I asked my colleagues then too, and they were like, you are the person we come to when we are confused about our lives. And you have always directed our life. So you have been our coach all this while, but we just never put a name to it. Today, what am I doing? And I can speak the whole day without getting tired. And imagine me now being paid. Do you understand? Me being paid doing what I'm doing. It means that I will actually never work in any day of my life because all the things I'm doing are the things I enjoy doing. So it's like being paid for your hobby, being paid for the things you love to do. How good would that really feel if that is you right now, being where I am, being paid, coaching people, something I've been doing all my life, being paid speaking to people, something I enjoy doing more than anything in the world. Let me know, how would you really feel? Would you really, really love that kind of life? Would you really love to see Mondays every day or every week? Or you even love Mondays to be every day? No weekends. Because the truth is, you're enjoying your life. Now I wake up with a lot of excitement and fulfillment, knowing that I'm doing what I ought to do. There is an alignment within me, and I know this is where I ought to be. So what is that thing you do every day now that exhausts you, that you no longer feel, that no longer feels like you again? Maybe because maybe you got that job at first because you wanted to make ends meet. Now you don't have any issue of making ends meet, and you are frustrated because you want more. Now you are longing for more. All these questions, I want you to answer it within yourself. Or maybe you've always longed to be a mother. Now you are a mother. You are longing for more. That is this all it is? Just giving birth and taking care of a child all my life? Is that all I'm going to do? Maybe that question has started coming to your heart lately. And let me just say this. A lot of us are running an app of 2012, a app of version 2012, and we are in 2025. You have your belief system no longer fits where you ought to be or where you want to be. And that is why you feel stuck, because now you want more. Before it was money that you wanted. Before it was a job you wanted. Before it was you wanted to be a mother. Before it was you wanted to, I don't know what your own could be. But now you want more. Something within you is crying out for more. So how can you now be able to find yourself? I've been able to give you some things, but now let me break it down step by step for you as a roundup. Number one thing is you have to be radically honest with yourself. You have to put aside sentiment. You have to put aside what will people say. You have to put aside what will people think. You have to choose yourself first now. Yes, if it has to be selfish, yes, you have to be selfish first. You have to find yourself first before you can begin to save people. I hope you know that. If not, it will be like the blind leading the blind. And I'm sure you know where that leads to. Not what people expect you to want. Hmm. When last did you ask yourself that question? I know some of these questions could be very uncomfortable, but they are questions you need to answer. Be very honest with yourself. You might not put it in the chat box, but you need to answer this question. When last did you ask yourself what you actually want? Not what your parents want, not what your siblings want, not what the society wants, not what people expect you to want, but what you want. The second step is you need to separate yourself, your identity, from your activity. Separate who you are from the job that you do or your title. Take, for example, if your job is taken away from you today and you no longer have that title, who are you? Or who will you be? Will you be stripped of everything that you are? it means that you never really had an identity. You never really knew who you were. So now assume in your mind, you are not doing that job. You are not being called that CEO. You are not being called that manager. You are not being called that accountant. You are not being called that whatever it is, that engineer or whatever it is that you are, or whatever label that you've given yourself. Now remove it from yourself and ask yourself, who am I without these labels? Hmm. Are you sure you're answering those questions? Let me know if you're answering those questions. Are you on this table? Let me know in the chat box quickly. I have just a few more minutes. And I want you to write in the chat box, I am more than what I do. I am not what I do. I am more than what I do. Write in the chat box, I am not what I do. I am more than what I do. If your job disappears tomorrow or today, will your confidence be taken away from you? Will your identity, will you be stripped of your identity completely? Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you, everyone, for writing that. Thank you, Ladi. Thank you, Paul. So number 3 thing is follow your energy. What is that thing you enjoy doing? What is that thing you are passionate about? What is that thing people come to you for? What is that thing people um people see in you? What is that thing that you can do the whole day without getting tired? What is that thing that gives you a burst of energy? Even when you are in the hardest of situation, once you are doing that thing, you no longer feel any pressure. All these are clues. And only if you can begin to write them down, or the answers to these questions, you can begin to write them down, you will begin to see that it will be like a Google map that keeps directing you, and everything will begin to make sense. The fourth thing you need to do is to revisit your values. Think back to the decisions that you have made so far, the major decisions you've made in your life. What made you make that decision? Even if everybody was against you, but you still stood for that decision. I remember the decision I made some time ago, and the person was asking me a question to do what I did not want to do. I think it felt so awkward to me. I initially agreed, but I had to chat the person back that no, I can't do this. But thinking back to values now, I knew that it was my value of integrity that did not allow me to go with that decision. So what is that major decision you have made? Now you need to think back that what values do you stand for? What are the things that are non-negotiable about your life? That no matter what, it should be life and death, you will still pick that thing. These are your values that you would always stand by no matter what. These are the things that will guide you to say yes or no to things, to choices, to decisions, to questions. So as I wrap up, finding yourself is not a one-time event, as I already said. It is something you keep doing. Although there can be a season in your life where you have found a lot about yourself, but it's a lifetime thing that you keep finding yourself. But there has to be a time when you sit down and find a lot of things about yourself so that you can have a map or a direction for your life. You need to be aware of the decisions you are making daily, the choices you are making. Ask yourself, why are you making these choices? Is it because of what people are saying? Is it because your mindset has been changed? Is it because of your parents? Is it because of your siblings? Is it because of society or because of yourself? Ask yourself why every time. Why are you thinking this way? Why are you making that decision? So, I want you to do this one thing before this session ends. I want you to take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is that one thing I need to stop doing to feel like myself again? Just what one thing? Just one thing. After everything that I've heard today, what is that one thing I need to stop doing or I need to start doing so that you can begin to walk in alignment of who you are? Someone like me then, I had to leave the job. Another thing I had to do again, I had to start taking courses, I had to get coaches, I had to get mentors, I had to do things that was aligning with who I was. I had to get a certificate as a coach. Do you understand? So what is that one thing you will need to do from now? Or what is that thing that you will stop doing? So that's one thing is what is going to help you to begin to work in alignment with who you are as you enter into the new year. As you end this year and go into the new year, I don't think you really want to go into the new year still misaligned, still feeling left out, still feeling like you are not yourself. So let me leave you with this. You are not confused. You are just misaligned. You just need to bring all of you together and answer some very prominent questions. When you find yourself, you stop escaping, you stop performing, you stop shrinking. And when your life aligns with who you are, you do not need an escape. You start enjoying your life on a daily basis. And when your life aligns, your life becomes the place you belong. Your life becomes an excitement on a daily basis. So I want to enjoin you today. Find yourself, build from who you are, not who people say you are, and live your fullest life because you have only one life to live. If after this one life, you are not remembered for who you are, you are remembered for who people said that you are, then maybe you need to rethink your steps from now. And I have just these quick 10 questions for you that can help you to still discover yourself. Who am I when no one needs anything from me? What part of my life feels most misaligned right now? What am I doing out of fear and not passion or desire? What drains you consistently? What energizes you even when it is difficult? What belief am I living by that no longer serves me? If I stop trying to impress people, what decisions would I make differently? What does success look like for me in this season? not what people define as success. What do you define as success? And what am I postponing that keeps calling me every day? Probably that thing called you this same time last year and you kept procrastinating. Now another year is about to pass you by. And I hope you know you are getting older every day. What kind of life? And the last question, what kind of life do I want that I do not need to escape from? And I hope these questions will help you to be able to find the path for your life and also find yourself so that you can walk in an alignment of who you truly are. And I hope you've been able to get one or two things from today's session. Thank you so much, Coach, for this great opportunity.
Well, woo, well, woo, well, woo. It's been super, super, super amazing. And we're just starting. This is just the first speaker. Can I see in the chat room what stood out for you? Because as I said, this is aha. Oh, I love that. He called you this same time last year. This calling, this procrastination, and that is why it is calling you again now and it's telling you. However, there is time value for decisions. That if you don't make that decision within that time, before you know it, somebody else, there's an overtaker syndrome, is going to start doing that thing and will be doing it better. And you now go like, I had this idea 5 years ago, and people will be looking at you like, what is this? What is this? What is this? Now, one of the things that really stood out for me, and I'd love to share that with the audience, when I heard that a couple of years back, it helped me start rechanneling how I was living my life. What would you do? That question is extremely critical. What would you do if nobody, say I don't come with glasses. What would you do if nobody pays you for it? What is that thing that would make you happy? It's not about the money. So right now you're working for money, and please, it's very fine to work for money. There's no food for lazy man. That's another, next month we'll be talking about work ethics and work and all of that. I will be learning how to actually enjoy what we do. So that's another conversation entirely. But there are things that you're doing that just doesn't look like it is in your training. And for me, it's extremely strange. After doing series of self-discovery, I discovered that I truly love to coach people. It genuinely makes me happy when I see people becoming a better version of themselves. You don't need to pay me for it. And that's why I would create a platform like this, including other platforms that I have, where people just come, listen, learn without paying a kobo. Because it's what I love to do. I just love to do it. Getting paid is an icing on the cake. And whether I'm paid or not, I will do it. And when I was able to figure that out, I started doing it. So I want to tell you, because there must be that thing. If not, it's going to be a very sad life. And interestingly, because I've chosen to become a coach and mentor, I get to hear lots of people's struggles. So I will tell you free of charge, there are people that at retirement, they have the money, so to say. The worker said, we are tired of you, go and sit down. It's not money that is the problem. Children have left the house. Now you don't have anything. And I've seen old people coming to tell me, hey, I'm trying to think of what I will do with my life. And it's difficult to go like, excuse, at 60, 60 something, you're just trying to figure out what you do with your life. And statistics have shown, because you can't afford to be idle, a lot of people, when they stop their typical 9 to 5, they come down with one very serious sickness or the other. because they are idle. And that's why these questions are extremely important. It's extremely important right now that you are building that life, that your retirement, you see some retirement party and you're wondering, and people are dancing. Finally, I'm out. Finally, I'm out. And it's like, hey, congratulations. Oh, you're out of bondage. Excuse you? That shouldn't be your life. And that's why we're talking about building a life you don't need to escape from. It's going to be from transitions to transitions. People can already see that you're transiting your life. So if in the chat room, you've already figured out what you would do if nobody's paying you, can I see a 1? And if you've not figured it out, can I see a 2? It's okay. It's where you are. There's no right or wrong answers. And sometimes you might think you figured it out. After a while, you're like, what is this thing I'm doing? So if you think you've gotten that thing, hey, awesome, awesome. I'm seeing ones there. Yeah, good. I'm seeing ones there. That's good. So what I would say is ensure you do it. I need to bring up the second speaker because of the sake of our time. And thank you so much, Coach Dami. That was absolutely, and it's only 2 people that responded. It's only 2 people that are here. People should show love now. You're afraid to type 2. Thank you so much, Coach Dami. That was absolutely amazing. And I'm so sure that you've made Coach Ladi's work way easier. Now, for the people that have typed 1, please make sure, no matter how small, do it. Coach Dami spoke about recharging. What it does for you is that it recharges you, your refuel system. So even if you're doing things that are draining, and that is why I will do this, because this is my safe place. I'm recharged when I'm doing this. I'm meeting people from across the world, everywhere. In this session, we are seeing people from North Carolina. We are seeing people from where else? We are seeing people from Maiduguri. I'm meeting people I would not really not meet if I don't do this. So this is just my absolutely safe place. So I would always come and do things like this for recharging. And that thing she said about, sometimes it's what people complain about you about too. I think I have some of my siblings here. They will tell you that growing up, I was a pain everywhere. Even my mom will go like, which kind of picking be this? I was absolutely commandeering. And I would do this and do that. And I'm always in people's businesses. And it's like, what is it? Can't you just be in your place? And I didn't know it was a gift. Why can't you just be a normal woman? What on that is normal? Your gift is not for you to be normal. Get it? That's what is making you outstanding. And growing up and now having better understanding and knowing myself, I realized that those things that they were complaining to me about, you talk too much, you're always talking. I was just talking in the wrong places. Go and learn how to talk and talk properly. And it's going to stand you out. I often tell people that, have you seen a dumb CEO before? CEOs talk, you are able to talk. Oh. So you need to know these things. What are those things that people are complaining about? However, nothing in its raw state is worth much. So the reason why people were complaining about me those days is that there was no training, no finis. It was in the raw state. So I had to go back. If you see gold, raw gold, nobody will collect them for your hand. That's why it has to go through the purifier's fire. So for those of you that you know those things, you now start asking yourself, before we came in here, we're having like a side talk with one of the people that joined in early. And one of the things we're saying is, what are the trainings that you need to do? What are the learnings that you need to do that in this thing that you've identified will set you apart as the 1% of the 1%? Thank you very much, everyone. Please feel free to drop in your questions. As we said, we are just starting, and that was some fiery kickoff. So next, I'm bringing up Ladi Felix. The last session she had in one of the communities I helped with, somebody came back this year and said, my 2025 was different because of what this woman told me in 2024. I've heard lots of people talk about vision board. I talk about vision board. But when Ladi takes vision board, she takes it at another level. I sincerely respect her expertise in that area. So Ladi Felix is a helping practitioner. Ladi Felix is a trained mental and emotional wellness coach, counselor, and trainer who helps singles, married individuals, and professionals gain clarity, balance, and resilience through an integrative counseling and coaching approach. She brings over a decade experience in people management, process improvement, and behavioral development. She holds international certification in customer service, mental health first aid, emotional intelligence, anger management, you unstable, and life coaching. She's the director of the Laugh Wellness Hub and hosts signature online program, Navigate Life with Ladi. Yes, he's Auntie Ladi. And Sarah Sambo, thanks for putting this on your DP. Somebody joined because this was on your DP. She came in earlier than you, Sha. But yeah, thank you. Especially, so one of the fun facts with Ladi and I is we met through our daughters, and I always say this because I find it absolutely amazing. And my daughter comes home one day and she says, one of my friend's mother does what you do. And I looked at her, what does that even mean? And she says, she's always teaching people online when you're teaching people online. And somehow our daughters connected us, and here we are. It's been how many years now, and we're still doing great things together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Ladi.
Thank
Over
you.
to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. I know we have people that are outside the country right now, and I'm so excited to be in your view right now. Thank you so much. Time is money. So this time that you are dedicating to whatever it is that we are doing now, learning, learning, relearning, trust me, it is value for your time. It is value for your time. And I want to say thank you so much to my sister. I call her my sister. I mean, apart from us doing the same thing, I find in her someone that has the same value that I have when it comes to parenting, when it comes to life. I speak to her and I'm like, I like the way you think. I like the way you view life, you know. So we have a lot of things in common. And everybody here, I am so excited that you are here because, I mean, we are all ambassadors. So because of time, we're just going to go diving into what we have for today. Let me try and see if I can put up my slide. And yeah, so, but while I'm trying to put up my slide, I would like to ask us a question. I know I'm talking about building a vision board, okay? So I want to know, first of all, how many of us have a vision board? If you have a vision board, if you've created a vision board before, just type 1, like we used to do. Type 1 if you've created a vision board before. And 2, if you know vision board, but you don't have a vision board. You know about vision board, right? But you've not created a vision board before. So that would be 2 for you. But if you have created a vision board before, that will be a 1 for you. Am I clear? So let me see the responses because I'm trying to navigate from here. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 2, 2, 2. Oh, wow. I'm seeing 1. Good. Okay. Oh, wow. So I'm excited because I'll be teaching you today how you can create a vision board. I am a testament of the miracle, not the magic. Let me not use the word magic, but the miracle of vision board, what a vision board will do. I will show you what a vision board is and how you can create one. And by creating one, you begin to see yourself, you know, manifesting a life that you've always wanted. But first of all, I think I want to say a very big thank you to Coach Dami. Yes, I wish I can see you so that I can give you like a lollipop. Because you just made my job so easy. You've talked about so many things that I had written down here in my notes. And so I don't know if my slide is showing now. Is my slide showing now?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Let me go back and share it again. Okay.
Okay, yes, now it's up.
It's showing now.
Yes, please.
Okay, good. So, Coach Dami, I owe you one lollipop, and maybe my sister will just get the lollipop across to you. Seriously, you've just made my job so easy, because I'm very practical. I am very practical when it comes to life applications. Whatever it is I'm teaching, I try to bring it down to earth. And I feel like a lot of us, especially those that said I don't have a vision board, I would like to take you through some steps. First of all, I like, us taking it step by step. Because the world that we are in now is a world where people get so excited about things. Oh, they see a vision board and they're like, oh, I want to get a vision board. I want to do a vision board. I want to start manifesting those dreams. I want to start doing those things that I see other people do, or those things I really want to do. Like Coach Dami saying, talking about discovering yourself. Now that you have discovered yourself, you want to start taking action. One of the tools that I'm presenting to you is a vision board. You must learn to see it. You see that new you must see it to materialize it. It's not enough for you to dream about it. It's not enough for you to say, oh, 2026 is going to be a great year. 2026, I'm going to start that business. 2026, I'm going to discover myself. 2026, I'm going to do this and do that. No. Aside you verbalizing it, you must see it in your mind, and then you must also visualize it. There's so much, the power in vision board is the power of visualization. It's the power of visualization. Okay, so therefore I want to start with some definition so that you can get to understand the power that you have as a man or a woman on this platform. There's something that God has put inside of you that most of us are not even, we're not utilizing it. Therefore, most times we feel stuck where we are. We see people manifesting their dreams or their goals. We see them moving, but we are just in one place because we don't know those inherent qualities, those things that God has put inside of us. But today, by knowledge, by virtue of knowledge, you are going to learn, you are going to unlearn and relearn. And trust me, as you enter 2026, with everything that you are learning today, I'm very sure by this time, end of 2026, you have something good to talk about, especially your progress. There's something called visioning. I don't know if you guys have heard visioning. Some of you must have heard that word visioning. What is visioning? There are two words that I want to define to you, and on our journey of creating vision boards, and I want you to remember this definition. The first word is visioning. Every one of us have the power of visioning. And what is visioning? Visioning is that act of allowing, is an internal process where you allow a vision to come to you. And that's what I don't see a lot of people doing. We are too busy thinking of what you want to be. You don't have that time where you quietly sit down and allow a vision to come to you. I don't want to spiritualize the whole thing. But what I mean by this is sometimes God has a purpose for you, for this your life that you are living. He has a purpose, and he's looking for every opportunity to tell you what your purpose is. But because of our busy nature, we are most times don't have the time to sit down quietly and meditate and allow this vision to come to us. So starting from today or starting from now, that thing that you want to be, create a time where you sit down and just allow a vision to come to you. I do meditation a lot and I teach meditation. What you do is, in the quiet moment, for those of you that are night people, day people, or whatever time that you know that nobody is disturbing you, just sit in a place quietly, in a very comfortable place, and close your eyes. Close your eyes and wait for a picture to come to you. These pictures can come in bits. Maybe you will see you start seeing uniform. I've coached people or counseled people, and when I say, okay, what are the visions? When we are talking about visions, I give them those exercises. So people come and tell me, oh, I saw a tree. I say, write it down. In your next visioning, I saw a fruit. I say, write it down. Next, what? I saw a market. By the time you add these 2 or 3 together, you are telling yourself a story. In a way, you are beginning to now understand that maybe God is now sending you to the field of farming. Because why will you be seeing a tree? Why will you be seeing markets? Why will you be seeing fruits? What this will help you to do is it will help you not to pursue another person's dream. So some of you are saying, Mrs. Adepoju, Coach Adepoju, Coach Damina, I want to be a coach, I want to be a coach. Is that your vision? Is that your purpose? So the act of visioning is very important when it comes to vision boarding. The second definition is visualization. Now, when you vision something, you have an idea of a purpose. The next thing is to visualize it. Now, what is visualization? Visualization is a mental, no, I'm not here, verse. A mental technique of imagining an outcome. Now that I have an idea of, oh, I want to be, or maybe God is calling me to the field of farming, agriculture, and all that. I will now begin to do what I call an outside-in exercise. We call it a visualization. You now begin to say, okay, what are the things that look like farming that are pictures, in pictures form that I can get, such that as long as I'm beholding it, it's always in my mind to become it. That's visualization. Vision comes to you, but visualization, you go to visualization. And it's very important that you learn this act before you start vision board. You ask yourself first, what vision am I seeing? I hope you are not seeing my vision. Don't see my vision. Don't see Coach Dami's vision. Don't see your husband's vision. Don't see your mother's vision. See your vision. Number 2, practice the act of visualization, which is what we are doing right now. Visualization, okay? It's when you now have when you now begin to take clear pictures of what you want to be or what you have seen and you want to become. Some of you want to go into consulting. What picture is around you reminds you of that dream? You understand? Some of you want to go into politics. Some of you have dreams of, owning a company. What picture, what picture do you have around you that reminds you that this is who you are? This is who you are meant to be. This is where you are supposed to be or where you are going to. Okay, so one tool that we use for visualization is what we call vision board. You can say I'm taking you through a journey. I'm not just taking you to vision board. Where did vision board come from? Visioning, visualization, and now a tool that you use to picture your future is what we call a vision board. And these are some examples of vision boards. Some of you, like you said, you have seen vision boards before, but you've not created one. Trust me, you are missing. For the past 4 years, I have not only created my own vision board, I have taught people vision boards, and they've always come back with testimonies. They've always come back that, oh, I wanted to get married. I put a picture of a married man and a woman on my vision board, and trust me, that same year, they were either engaged or they were married. I've had in my vision board when last 2 years, I said I was going to finish my master's because I was delaying on that master's. I looked for a picture of a graduate that was celebrating, and I was like, this is me, because this year I will graduate. And I added it to my vision board, and trust me, that year I was more than motivated to finish my master's. I said that year I was going to be more deliberate in my consulting business, my coaching business, and I had a picture of a coaching, someone doing coaching and all that. And every day I see it, I say, that is me, that is who I'm becoming. So the more you see it, the more you manifest it, the more it's very clear in your face that this is where you're supposed to be. A vision board is, by definition, I said a vision board here is Let me read it. Something is blocking my view here. A vision board is a visualization tool that I said that uses images, words, and affirmations, sticky notes, or whatever that you can get. And what all these things do is they represent your goals and your aspirations. They help you to manifest the future that you desire. Simple. Forget all this English I'm saying. Just take it that a vision board is just a picture of where and who you want to become, where you are going to, who you want to become, the steps you want to take to get there. Whatever it is, a picture, affirmation, sticky notes. I'm going to show you some of the things that you will need to create your own vision board. But whatever it is that appeals to you, you know, just look for something that looks like or reminds you or shows you your future and put it on your vision board and look at it every day. Look at it all the time and come back after 1 year with a testimony. Trust me, okay? So it's not just enough. I always say it's not just enough to just create a vision board. When I started my vision board, I was novice, I was naive. I just put a picture, and then of course I started manifesting some of those things that I put on my vision board. But with time, I started to teach myself or learn the fact that, see, it's not just enough to have pictures on your vision board. You need to work on your mindset. That's why I love everything Dami said, Coach Dami said. You need to work on your mindset. There's something about effective vision boarding. I'm not talking about the nonchalant one that you do. Some people do their vision board and they just put it on the bed. Some people do their vision board and they don't even know where it is. But I'm telling you, a vision board that will give you what you want in the next month, if possible. A vision board is something that once you create it, there's a possibility of you manifesting whatever it is that you put there immediately. Immediately. Sometimes people come to me and say, is this magic? I'm like, it's not magic. It's even the law of the universe. It's called the law of what do they call it now? Attraction. Law of attraction. What you mirror all the time, you attract. What you mirror and you see all the time, you attract it. Okay, so it is a very powerful tool. So for us to get on to creating an effective vision board, which is my dream for everybody, is you must, you know, have an understanding of some of this terminology that is written here, that I've itemized here. For instance, I know I heard Coach Tammy talking about clarity, so I'm not going to really go into all these things, even though I'll mention them a little bit when I'm talking about how to create your vision board. Clarity, strong belief in yourself. You must have intention, inner alignment, emotional connection. You know, when we talk about vision board and we're talking about your vision, there has to be an emotional connection. One of the reasons why some people don't manifest their dreams or vision is because there is no connection. There is nothing. You look at your dream and you're not even happy. You look at your dream and you're not excited. It is not your dream. It is not your dream. It's somebody's dream. Everything that is on my vision board, anytime I look at it, there is that excitement that, oh, this is what I want. This is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I really. So if there is no emotional connection, forget it. It is not your dream. Consistent action, patience, reflection, gratitude, and willingness to go through the process. Very important. Next, let's build a vision board. So we're going to make this thing very practical. Sorry, I'm just rushing. And I know I have 30 minutes. And when you talk about vision board, it's something you do for an hour or 2 hours. So let's create a vision board, okay? And let's make it practical. I wish that we have like, if we can have a paper where you are, because I just don't want to be talking. I want us to really do it together. If there's a paper next to you, please just open it up. Or I prefer a paper and a pen. If you don't have it, I can just give you a minute to grab one, because whatever we're going to do like a mini vision board, and then I'll tell you how you can translate it into a real one, a permanent one that you can stick and use, you know, and you know, it will be more permanent. But for now, make sure you're writing something. Make sure you're not just listening to me, because you may forget, but make sure you're writing something. Now, in building a vision board, the first step is reflection. I need someone to type reflection so that I know that I am together with you. We are together. Reflection. Can you type reflection for me? I want to see someone say reflection on the chat room. Good. Okay. Just a minute, please. I'm trying to look for it. Okay. Okay, so the first step is reflection. Okay, reflection. Very important. What is reflection? I have a definition here. Reflection is, for some of us, we think that reflection is like memories. Sorry, am I clear? Is everybody hearing me?
Loud and clear, coach.
Thank you so much. Reflection is not just, when we say reflection, for some people, they think that, oh, when I say reflect on your 2025, some people will now start thinking about memories. Oh, memories. Yeah, it's good, but it's much more than memories. I want you to see it as raw materials. You want to build a vision board into 2026. What are your raw materials? Your raw materials are these things that you reflect on. These things that you reflect on. And in reflection, you ask yourself questions. You ask yourself clear questions. Coach Dami gave us a lot of questions that she said we should ask ourselves. And I want you to write these questions down so that you can also use that to reflect. I have about 5 questions. I will just maybe read the first 3 and then we'll just go on. So for instance, the first question you want to ask is that, what am I most proud of achieving in 2025? What can you say you achieved and you are proud of achieving it in 2025? If you're able to answer that question, that will help you to identify your strengths that you can repeat in 2026. You see, we don't have the time of dissipating energy. If I know that in 2025, I was so proud in collaboration, which I did. I'm using myself as an example. If I reflect on my 2025, I can say that I collaborated more in 2025. I had people I was working with. I had people that called me and we worked together. And in that way, I noticed that I was stronger than working solo. I noticed it, all my online jobs that I did, all my physical jobs that I did, they were more of collaboration. And I didn't even know I had that strength. And every job I did that was a collaboration, I had a very positive feedback. Now, I know that I have the strength for collaboration. Taking it to 2026, I know that I'm going to look out for more collaboration opportunities. I'm going to look out for more teamwork opportunities or more opportunities that will make me to work in that place where I can lead people, because that is my strength. So reflection, what are those things that you are proud of that you have done in 2026? These are the things that you should major on when you're thinking of your 2026. Number 2, what drained your energy or didn't serve you the most in 2025? What drained your energy? For me, if you tell me one of the things that drained my energy, I just did my own beginning of December, social media, phone. I don't know if you are on this table. I'm sure we are plenty. Phone, use of phone. A lot of us are on this table. I try to see my screen. I don't know how I need to be navigating this to be seeing my screen and using slides at the same time. I want it to be engaging. So let me just hear someone tell me one thing that you think drained you. I've confessed my own now. I said one of mine major was my time management when it comes to phone usage. It drained me. Let me have one person that is vulnerable enough to share what you think drained you. Just one person. Okay, doing too many projects at the same time. Oh, wow. Good. Doing too many projects at the same time. Okay, let me just go on. So, but it's very important you know that, because if you know that, it will help you to know what to avoid. You understand? So I know that not being able to manage my time when it comes to phone usage and all that really drained me and took a lot of my time. Going into next year, I am putting as one of my goals time management. So I'm going to really work on my time management. I'm going to look for every tool I need to look for that will help me to curb excessive time used on phone and all that. I've already started working on it. I've downloaded apps that, tells me when it's time to shut down this app. In fact, it doesn't even tell me, it shuts the app on its own. And once it shuts the app, I'm like, oh, it's time up, The third question you want to ask yourself is, what habits or mindset helped you get closer to your goal? When you do that, what you are doing is you are helping yourself to identify habits, because habits are very important. Habits are very important. Please take note of this. Take note of these questions and truly, sincerely ask yourself so that you can, chart for yourself a very good vision board that has the right ingredients inside of it. Okay, so we are talking about reflection. The next thing is clarify your vision. I heard Coach Tammy also talk about it. Clarity is very key. Don't start doing your vision board without clarity. Clarity means, where are you going to and why are you going there? I want to lose my weight. Let's say, for instance, I want to lose my weight and I want health. I want health to be a focus for me in 2026. But what is my focus? Why do I want it? Is it because I want to be as slim and as beautiful as one sister in Nkechi somewhere? What is my motive? If my motive is not clear enough, it's going to be like, garbage in and garbage out. If you garbage in rubbish, you will garbage out rubbish. So you have to be clear on your goals. You have to be clear. Clarity talks about knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. I see a lot of people that say, I want to start a business in 2026. Why do you want to start a business? And because everybody is starting a business. That is not clear enough. You must have a clear enough vision, a clear enough vision statement of what you want to achieve. And that will have you talking about, why you want to do what you want to do. Why I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to open, let's say I want to open my business, my small business next year with a profit of 50 million naira, because I want to be able to utilize the gifts that is inside of me. You see, everything is still boiling down to me and something that will benefit the humanity. Oh, because I have seen a problem somewhere that I know I have the gift. During visioning, I've received that gift and I know that I can solve this problem. So clarity is very key. If you don't have clarity, please get a coach. Get somebody that can help you clarify your vision. It's very important. If you are not sure if your vision is clear, get somebody that you can sit down with, a coach, and say, these are my dreams and my plans for next year. Please, is it clear enough? Is it clear enough? The next step is gather materials. Now that you've had your intentions, clarified, your clarity. After clarifying your vision, the next thing is intention. Sorry, this step 3 is set your intention. What's the difference between clarity and intention? Clarity is like your destination. At the end of 2025, this is where I see myself going. Your intention are your goals and your goal setting. When you now begin to break down this vision, you want to open a business. How do you intend to open that business? When you break down your vision into goals, you break it down into smaller steps. So for instance, you said you want to be able to save 400,000 naira at the end of 2026. That is something you want to achieve. Your intention will be to, how do you want to achieve it? It's not the 400,000 I'm looking at. I'm looking at every month I'm going to be saving 40,000 naira with glory to glory, cooperative, blah, 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 So you have to be able to break it down. Your intentions have to be very clear. Your intentions are more broken down than your vision. Your vision is the global thing you want to be. but your intentions are when you break them down, okay? So let's take, for instance, for the whole of this vision board, let's take, for instance, someone that wants to remain healthy. You find out that you have been sick, you have not been, your health has not been, you have not been strong enough, but now you want to be healthy. So you're like, going into 2026, when it comes to my health, I want to be healthier. I want to be able to control my blood pressure and all that. So your intentions now will be, I intend to improve my health by exercising. Because improving your health will not just come to you like magic. How do you want to improve it? I intend to do it by exercising. Now that you know that to be able to achieve that goal, you need to do exercises, you need to eat healthy, you now want to gather materials. Remember, I talked about visualization is where you now have these materials, pictures that show you where you are going to. And that is our step 4. You now begin to gather materials. When you are dealing with let me also state that when you are dealing with your intentions, I always tell people, in the place of intention and goal setting, you need to break down your life into segments. There's something that we normally teach, we call it the wheel of life. Break your life into segments. Your life is much more about just one area of your life. I see a lot of people get stuck when they focus only on one area of their life. So people are just talking about money, 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 money. It's not just money. Money is like finance. It's just one area of your life. What about your health? What about your spiritual life? What about your family life? What about your career? What about your personal development? What about fun? What about leisure? There are so many other areas of your life that you need to look at. In fact, we have about 8 areas that you need to look at and say, in 2026, I want to focus on these 5 major areas, these 6 major areas, or all the 8 areas. If you are a novice and you have not done this before, I advise that you look at all the areas, because some people, by the time it's January and February, they get tired, they get demotivated. Why? Because you have just been looking at finance, and then maybe something happened and you're not getting what you're supposed to get. They're like, oh, I'm not motivated. But meanwhile, these same people are doing very well in their family life. They are doing very well in taking care of their health. So I tell people, break your life, your whole existence into different segments. And these segments they vary for everybody. For me, my top priorities will be family, of course, spirituality, my God, relationship with God, my family life, my career or profession, and then my recreation. I don't play with my me time. I don't play with the time I use to recharge. I don't play with the time I use to take care of myself. Self-care is very important to me. And then I have my extended family, and then it goes on and goes on. So I'm looking at all those areas. And then for each of these areas, I'm looking at what are those things that will remind me of who I want to become when it comes to my relationship with God. You look for images, pictures. So for instance, on my vision board, I'm not at home now, I'm in the office. I don't have my personal vision board, is at home. On my vision board, when it comes to my relationship with God, I have pictures of a Bible. So I have a Bible on my vision board. It reminds me that I need to read the word of God so that I can get closer to my God. And because profession is very important to me, I have a picture of an office. In fact, for that one is my picture, a picture of me in my office that I used, I use AI to create. It reminds me that this is where I'm going to. I hope to have an empire, an office. I call it a wellness hub that has like different areas where you can come in, and the different areas of your mental and emotional health is being catered for. I have something that reminds me of that. Another thing we also put in our vision board is affirmations and quotes, because affirmation and quote helps you. Remember, I talked about belief. You need to go on this journey with a belief. Sometimes things happen to us and then we begin to lose that consciousness of who we are. But when you have affirmations that reminds you that I am strong, I am capable, I can do this, money comes to me. For those of us that are the money people, money comes to me, I am stronger than I think. when I look at those affirmations, I am reminded that I am stronger than who I think I am. So even in that lowest moment, I look at those affirmations and I tell myself, oh yes, I can do this, I can do that. Now, where do you get some of these materials? You can get them online. You can go to Google, you can go to AI now to create whatever it is that comes to your mind. What do you want to see? Go to AI and tell AI, give me a picture of a woman in the office doing this and doing that. It will give you a picture. You copy it and paste it somewhere and go to a cyber cafe and print it out. Or you can go to Google and just type what you want to see. Give me a picture of a woman exercising. You know, I also talked about, you know, when I talked about gathering materials, when you are gathering materials, I talked about gathering materials that align with your values, that align with your values, that align with your strengths, you know. So, because you will need that thing you will need whatever it is that you're building on your vision board to align with you emotionally. It is very important. I say a lot of people make that mistake. They do a vision board and there is nothing that is attractive in that vision board emotionally. There's nothing that draws them. Everything on my vision board draws me emotionally. I look at it and there are some that even bring tears to my eyes because I'm like, wow, so I can become this, you know. So when you have all these pictures, you can get all these pictures. You can use sticky notes, you know, sticky notes. You can use sticky notes to write some of your favorite quotes. You can also use you can use online for those that are very good with Canva. You can design some of your favorite quotes on Canva. You can get a graphic designer to design something for you. These are intentionality. Coach Dami was talking about intentionality. If you really want to create that vision board, you have to be intentional. So these are the different places you can go to get some of these your pictures. Get them online. Go to a cyber cafe and tell the cyber cafe to print it out for you. That's all. He can take some of these pictures and put them, maybe 2 or 3 of those pictures in an A4 paper and print it out as colored. And you have your materials ready, okay? Now, with your materials ready, you go to your vision board. Normally for the vision board, for starters, you can start with a cardboard. If you have a cardboard, you can use this normal school cardboard that our children normally use. You have your cardboard as big as your cardboard is. With those sticky notes and the whatever it is that you had printed out, you come to your cardboard and begin to stick those pictures on it. And you can stick it anyhow. You know, we are emotional beings. I don't want to tell you you must do it this way. Whatever it is that, like I said, appeal to you emotionally. I've seen people that say, okay, anything that reminds me of what I want to do or is a picture of what I want to become health-wise, they put it together. Okay, career together, family together, spirituality together, you know, but some people just scatter it anyhow. However it is that it appeals to you, please do it. You're an emotional being. Anything that gives you joy and excitement. And that's why I said, infuse emotion and believe into your vision board. The vision board I had that I did last year, I even had flowers. I had to get flowers because I love nature. So when I told myself I wanted to go back to nature, I wanted to infuse nature into my every day. I had flowers on my vision board. So anytime I look at the flowers, I'm reminded that, oh, I need to go back to nature. I need to go back to nature. I need to go back and enjoy nature. And I see that, and my emotions is aroused. I'm happy. There's this feel of joy,
Sorry
excitement.
to interrupt, Coach. We have just about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
For the next speaker. Yeah. Apologies.
Okay, no problem. So we're almost done. So the next step is place it in a visible spot. You know, place it in a visible spot. Once you've created your vision board, place it in a visible board, preferably in front of your bed, somewhere conspicuous that you can see. You know, you wake up in the morning and the next thing you are seeing is your vision board, right? And then, of course, review and reflect regularly. Normally, our advice that you get like a journal that you use to reflect regularly. Once a month, you sit down and ask yourself, how am I doing with my vision board? Where am I in my vision board? You know, what am I becoming? Do I need to adjust my vision board, or do I need to you know, do I need to adjust? Is there something I need to adjust? Is there something I need to add? Is there something I need to remove? Is there something I need to, you know, create more, whatever it is? But please make room for reflection, make room for adjustment, make room for learning to grow. You know, recently I started telling myself, apart from vision board, there's something I am beginning to create now. I call it the becoming board. The becoming board. So while you might have a vision board, it's okay to have a becoming board, because your becoming board tells you step by step who you are becoming. A lot of people do a vision board, and at the end of the day, they're like, oh, I did not achieve this, or I was not able to achieve this, and they're not happy with themselves. But do you know that on your journey of that, your journey to getting to that final destination, you had changed. Something about you had changed. You had become better, even if it is 2 steps. That is also progress. When you're doing your reflection, these are the things that you look at, and you know, it also gives you or boosts confidence. Okay, so put all these things together and you have a fantastic vision board. Okay, let me just quickly show you guys one. I think in the office here I have one. I don't know if you can see one here. Yes, this is another one that I did. A vision board is on my wall in the office, and it just shows me where I want to be when it comes to professional. It's a professional vision board. Some of the things I want to achieve professionally. But each time I come here and I see this, I am motivated, I'm inspired. So I want to end with this to say that vision board is a necessity. It's a necessity. We all have mirrors in our house. I don't know why we don't have vision boards. A vision board is like a mirror that shows you who you are and who you are capable of becoming. So don't settle for less. Build a vision board for yourself. And I'm sure the next time we're having this kind of meeting, we'll be having testimonies. We'll be having, oh, I had this on my vision board and I manifested it. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you so, so much. Please, can we see the reaction in the chat room? We still have a third speaker. We're hoping we could end this by 7, and our speaker has been up all through. That's why I just had to bust for time. We try to take this systematically so that at the end of today, it's going to be a master class that even if it is one thing that you've taken, you're seeing that we are going step by step. And I hear a lot of people complain about their location, their situation, their this, their that. You are seeing that right now, it's your life in your hands. And there is absolutely something you can do about your life. One of the things I tell the people in the community is the webinar you did not attend, it will not change your life. The book you did not read, it will not change your life. And you will still keep complaining because you don't have the right knowledge. I can tell you for a fact that vision board, as she said, is like juju. They will say, no, be juju, be this. The reason why it looks as if our lives, and I say our so that it does not look like we're exempting ourselves, is not moving, because there are always certain areas of your life that you are not quite there. You can't do everything at the same time, no matter how tempting it is because you've not seen clearly enough. You are not aware of yourself enough in that area, number one. Then you cannot see it. Once you become aware and you see, our next speaker will be taking us through practical steps. You know, she's talking about visualization right now, and this is absolutely beautiful. If you're serious with your life, you will start looking for coaches after this that will handhold you, that would be able to bring out of you that seed. A lot of you have been seeing things. You think for people that are in Africa, you think it is your village people that are chasing you. Why am I always seeing trees in my... Why am I always sitting down and thinking about? You don't understand that these visions that you are seeing, and the reason why the next person is not seeing it is because it is something that is unique to you, and is what is going to take you, not me, you, to your next level. I don't really have time to debrief this. You know, I had this coach that told us something one time, and I never forgot that. He said he just paid one of his own coaches. So I always say, please, don't sit under somebody that is not teachable. If there's nobody that's speaking into your life, I can't work with you. And he said he just paid one of his own coaches $30,000. And all of us did like this. Coach, Claude, 30,000 what? And he said, see, it is because your destiny is cheap. That is why you think $30,000 is expensive. That if you can see your future and you understand 30,000 will be a cheap price for somebody that you know that can handhold you there. And you know, that thing never left me. Because that's the truth. We pay our children's school fees because we believe that if they go through this school, they've not gotten the job. Well, that's the vision. So all of us have this vision. It's just that we are not really holding it. So one of the things I would ask you is, what's the sacrifice that you are ready to pay for your next level? Because believe me, it works. Now, the person I'm bringing up is my brother. As in, I'm lucky. I'm a woman from a large family. I keep meeting kindred spirits. And that is what happens when you know yourself. This is somebody I've known for about 30 years now. For people that joined early, you remember that small town that I said I wanted to escape from? Yes, we came from that small town together. However, every time we meet, even after we moved to the big town, as Coach Felix said, we are always like, every time he talks, I'm like, God, this mind is an amazing person. He's a public servant. He's an author. He's a business process analyst. He's an expert of cross-border e-commerce and supply chain risk management and security. He's also the founder of Zote Technology Limited. You know what? One of the things we are doing here is we are telling you, we are letting you know that you are multifaceted. And there's nothing that is saying that one side of your life should suffer for the other. It's in your hands. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, with a very loud, arousing welcome, digital welcome, please welcome with me David Aniko. Hi, brother. Welcome. Thank you. So while I'm welcoming him, I have a gift for everybody that came in here. I intentionally didn't mention it on the group and I didn't drop it on the group. You know that thing that we said about AI? I'm giving you this cheat code. Drop this prompt on ChatGPT. For those of you that you have my contacts, inbox me the detail. You know, we've been saying, find yourself, find yourself. This is one of the tricks of AI. It's going to shock you what it will release back to you. So this is my gift to you for joining this webinar. This cheat code, drop it. Just drop this prompt on ChatGPT. And if you have my inbox, please. So over to you, David.
Hello, everybody, and thank you to my big sister. You know, so like she said, we've known each other for as long as forever. So she's my big sister. So we actually met. She's a very good friend to my big sister. You know, and they were classmates. And of course, I'm sure you guys know she's an engineer. You know, you don't see female engineers every day, every time, everywhere you go. So it's good to be here. And I want to say a special thank you to the earlier speakers who did a fantastic job. Because even me, I had to bring out my notes and start writing down. There's so much that I am learning. So I'm actually here with family. I traveled today and I think last night, and it was a bit hectic. I didn't know I was going to be able to make it. But thank God I'm here eventually. So I will speak quickly because of time. I know you have had a long time listening to all of these, and I know it's a lot to take in. And so I'll quickly go into this. And we've had a lot from Coach Dami. We've had a lot from Mrs. Felix, and then, of course, I'll just take us through translating dreams into practical milestones. So I would just like to share. I'd like to share a bit from just to round up and cap what has been shared already. So I'll quickly share a slide. It's nothing serious. just a few things I put together to help us look at things better and get it more easily into perspective. So I don't know if you can see my screen. Yeah? Can anyone see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Translating dreams
Great.
into practical
So I
life.
want to start with this question because I think it's quite important to be interactive. You know, the convener said something, I'm very passionate. It's something I'm really passionate about. So I'm a Nigerian. I love my country. I believe that I'm here for a purpose. Definitely, I know that there's nothing wrong in migrating or moving to any other place. But nevertheless, I do believe very much in Nigeria, and I love Nigeria very much. So I want to ask, what is Nigeria's greatest resource? I want a few answers as fast as possible. If you can tell me, amongst these four things rather, we have our land, which is very arable and produces a lot. We have the gold. We have gold in Nigeria. I'm sure you are all aware of that. We have crude oil, of course, that one we know, and we have the people. So I want to know which of these do you think is Nigeria's greatest resource? So I want to just see the chat box very quickly. I'm seeing that everybody is saying people, people, people. Are you sure? Because as far as I can remember, okay, somebody said people and the land. Somebody said human resource. Okay, which is people. Yeah, so I can see a lot of people as agreeing that people. Okay, but are you sure it's not crude oil? How come? Because it looks like it's crude oil all of us are focused on in Nigeria. And more recently, the gold that is being mined in the north central and maybe northeast or northwest rather. Okay, so basically, the idea is I like the fact that we recognize that it's people. I will say this. So many years before now, there's a story I read that in a certain part in the Middle East, the oil was seen as a curse until someone looked at it and decided that it was good to run an engine. If not, crude oil will still be a curse in a certain community today. But because someone designed an engine and it was here where they were able to use it to run an engine or to create heat or to do whatever it is used to do or to create a lot of other byproducts from it. Today, crude oil is very valuable. So every value that we get is created by the people. So you are all correct by saying the people are actually the best resource. I agree absolutely. Then I want us to, there are two statements I want us to talk about. So if everybody can agree, I want to hear your own answer. I am responsible for where I am right now. Do you agree with that? If you agree, please say it on the chat. If you agree that you are responsible for where you are right now. Okay, I'm seeing different answers. Some say yes, some say not totally, some say no. Okay. So when I mean you are responsible, you know what I mean. I'm trying to say you are responsible financially. If you have $100,000 in your account now, is yes. If you have zero, is yes. Okay, somebody says because of parents. So I agree. Okay, so I see a lot of I agrees. And of course, so then the second statement is I accept that not everything is under my control. So I want to see answer. Not everything is under my control. Do we agree? Okay, so Okay. So I like one answer I'm seeing. He says, yes, but I control how it affects me. So fantastic. So basically, so the last one is, do you think that these two statements are in agreement? Or do you think that they conflict each other? Do you think they conflict each other, or do you think they agree with each other? Okay, so I want you to reflect on that. And thank you very much. So someone said they are conflicting. So now let's to talk about it because it's quite important. Before you start any journey, you have to be accept that you are responsible for that journey. And we'll be using the ARC. There's a life cycle map. I came up with this life cycle map some years back, and I have used it to teach a few people, and it's been very useful for even myself because it kind of helps bring clarity to a lot of things that has been said here. Oftentimes, the most difficult thing is being in control of your own life and being deliberate about your actions on a daily basis. That's very difficult to do. We tend to leave things to chance a lot, and that is a big problem. The convener said something. She mentioned something that divorce is on the rise. I agree with her, and that's one of the biggest reasons for that is because we leave a lot of things to chance. And as Nigerians, in fact, as Black people, I have also realized that based on given my interaction with different people, I've realized that we leave a lot of things to chance. And by leaving a lot of things to chance, it creates some gaps that are often we are not able to fill at the end of the day and creates a lot of chaos. So it is important. I have heard a lot what Coach Dami said to Mrs. Felix. I have seen that as in being deliberate is one of the major things that will help us achieve our goals and turn our dreams into practical reality. So I want to ask, do you have a dream? I want you to write that dream down as we are speaking, because I want you to put it on paper, because if you don't have it on paper, as far as I'm concerned, you do not have a dream. So if you have not put it on paper, then maybe you should do that tonight. So let's write that dream down. What is that dream? It could be an aspiration, or there could be goals that you want to achieve. It could also be a destination. It could also be a destination that you want to get to. Then it's important. I loved the last class where we talked about visualization. And it's quite important. I ask this question a lot. What will you describe as success? What can you see that will let you know that, okay, I am successful? Because if you do not have that vision, then anything can become success to you. Anybody can define success to you. Then you begin to move, your success definition begins to shift posts every time. Because you met someone that has built an empire and he has so much money, then you say he's successful. Then tomorrow you meet someone that maybe has been married successfully for 40, 50 years, and you're like, oh, this success. Yes, everything could be success, but part-time, based on your goal, what would you see that would say, I am successful? So I need you to write it down and put down those things that will make you know that you are successful or not. So I'll use the life cycle map later after this series of things I want to talk about. You have to start to achieve your dream. So I authored a book called Roadwise. It's a book that has 21 nuggets. I love driving, and I think one thing that I see in many cities I go to is the first thing immediately I get to a town for the first time. If I maybe from the airport to my hotel or anywhere, immediately I see the way they drive. It tells me what kind of people they are, because oftentimes driving is one activity that you do. It shows exactly how your mind is. So if I'm angry and I'm driving, it will show. If I'm in a very good mood and I'm driving, it will also show. So oftentimes, I love watching people drive, and it gives me an insight. So when I wrote this book, the idea is I wrote it because of how people drive in Nigeria. It's a big issue, and it's a full reflection of who we are as a people. Like I'll keep saying Nigeria, because I believe that once each and every one of us get it right, then we have a very high chance of becoming better as a nation. So I will start with telling you that if you have a dream, you can't start. If you don't start, you can't achieve anything. So let's discuss what could be your reasons for not starting. If you have a dream, please write it. I want everybody to see, as many people that are listening. Maybe you can write down what your dreams are and tell us the reason why you have not started. Put down as many reasons. If you have not started, why have you not started? Is it fear? Is it, not having resources? So write it down, as many reasons as possible. We don't all start from the same place. I want us to understand that. Not all of us will start from the same place, because why? I'll show you that on the life cycle map as we go on. Because some people, maybe your parents might have made a certain decision, and maybe mine did not make some of those decisions. Despite that, it does not stop us from achieving our dreams. So comparison can be the thief of dreams. Oftentimes, you see a lot of people where you have a situation whereby they will tell you, oh, I am where I am because my father didn't do this or my mother didn't do this. These are things that can actually hinder us. We tend to look at other people and look at it that because they are doing well, then maybe we will not start because we are not at those same levels. Trust me, I think you can start from anywhere and you still achieve your dreams. And we don't all go at the same speed. There are a lot of things that determine our speed. We have heard about it, how it is important to get knowledge, how it is important to read. In fact, the whole program is read, right? So the more knowledge we have, the higher the chance or the likelihood that we are going to make better decisions. I used to like using this analogy. So if I was to give you an address to locate, and you have a map that guides you to those places, what happens is that you have a higher chance of not missing the way because you have a map. But let's assume you are going to that same destination and you do not have any map. What will be your likelihood of getting there in one piece and on time? That's going to be a big problem. So it's important for you to read. Reading, what it does to you, it expands your knowledge and gives you that ability to see, to learn from those who have gone before you, and to have, precise knowledge of decision making. It improves your choices basically and reduces your chances of making poor choices. So the more knowledge you have, the better it is for you. And now I heard in the last week I talked about mentorship. Mentors can also make it easier. There's this very popular saying in Nigeria that says, follow who know road. I agree with it. Truly, it is important for you to look for people who have gone ahead of you. There is nothing you want to, absolutely almost nothing you want to achieve right now that someone hasn't done something similar or there are always pace setters that you can always refer to. So it's important to study mentors and follow them. But nevertheless, there's a caveat to this. when you follow mentors, it is important that you also not get lost into your mentors. Like, you must understand your own uniqueness. You are a unique being. You are not your mentor. Despite the fact that he has gone ahead of you in a certain area, what you should do is learn from him, not become him. If not, you become a copy. So you must be very careful when following mentors so that you know exactly when to follow your own path and become your original self. Choosing your friends wisely is very important. You know, it determines a lot. One of the major issues we have also is the fact that many people want to start a business and they do not have partners. They don't know how to get partners. I like the last speaker said something, and she was like, she found out that she worked throughout this year, she worked in a lot of teams with a lot of collaboration, and it was very good. That's one of our weaknesses. Many of us, we don't know how to collaborate. We don't know how to work with partners. It's something that I think if we can improve on as Nigerians, as a people, we'll probably achieve a lot more. You know, bringing resources together, bringing know-how and knowledge together, it helps a lot, and it will help us gain speed in areas where you are good. You know, someone else can have a different resource or an expertise different from yours. When you guys collaborate, it makes it better. And also, one of the very important things here is you have a situation whereby marriage is one important thing that will determine a lot of success. Who you choose as partner can determine whether you become successful or you do not. That dream that you want to achieve, it's important that you choose the right partner, especially in marriage, so that you do not get missing. I'm very passionate about family and marriage, and I have seen how it has ruined or made people. So it's important to choose partners that make sense, and also partners that can help you get to your dream. So to sustain the dream, it's not enough to achieve the dream. It's very important to sustain it. In fact, it is very important that you sustain that dream. You can achieve it. I have seen a lot of people in growing up who maybe they call them a one-time millionaire or one-time rich man. And I don't want that to be anybody's case here. So it's important to achieve that dream and sustain it. You know, don't be successful and then after a while, you are not able to pass on the success to your kids, or you are not able to sustain it even in your own lifetime. So these are some of the key things that I want to talk about before I go to the life cycle map. I would like to introduce you to the life cycle map. It's something that I came up with some years back, and it's been very, very instrumental. So everybody starts their journey from birth. That is the start line that you see here. At the beginning, everybody is born of a man and a woman, except Jesus, who was born of the Holy Spirit. I haven't heard of anybody else who was born of the Holy Spirit, but even him came from a woman. So everybody has this start. So the line between the start and that red dot that you see, where the hard way is that we have different journeys. So some people have it in their childhood. They have it very easy going, you know, they have it, you know, their parents were there for them, provided for them, sent them to good schools. Everything seemed very straight and easy. Then we have some not so easy. Some were so up and down. You know, today, abusive homes and what have you. They had terrible experiences growing up. Some were so complicated. It was so windy. Like maybe their mothers, even maybe it was out of wedlock. The child was put in a dustbin or a dump, and that's how he started. Like we've heard about, there's this group I think is in Uganda, called the Watoto group, where most of those children were children of that were found in toilets and all those kind of places. So their life is so complicated growing up. They had no parental guidance whatsoever. So those kind had terrible, terrible childhoods. But the funny thing is this, as you can see on this diagram, everybody comes to that one point. Everybody comes to that one point. And that one point is the point of decision. Whether you had it good or you did not have it good as childhood, everybody comes to the point of decision. What is the point of decision? The point of decision is the point where you realize that first question, that you are responsible for the outcome of your life. You are totally responsible for the outcome of your life. You know, growing up, we saw situations where people, you see 40-year-olds, 60 years old, just like the convener said, that you see a 60-something-year-old man who has just retired and is not able to know where his future is. So it has become very clear that not everybody gets to this point of decision. No, it is not determined by age. The point of decision, I have seen where people get married not by their own choices. People get married not by their own choices. They are introduced to, maybe it was their parents that chose their spouses for them. And this has happened. And we see a lot of people, most of the major decisions in their lives were made by someone else. And this point of decision, it is not a function of age. Some people get to this point of decision before age 18. Some get to the point of decision at age 24, at age 25. Some even get to this point of decision at age 40. So it is not a function of age. It is a point at which you realize that your life is in your hand and you have to make choices with the everyday choices that you make determines how your life goes. So it is very important to get to this point of decision. Some people are listening to me now might just be reaching this point of decision to realize that, look, my everyday choice, my everyday choice, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, everything leads to where I want to be, where I will be now, where I want to be in the future. And this is very important. Now, this is the full life cycle map. The idea is you make your own choices. There is a goal, there is a destination for your life. And why that destined end is important is this. You see, there are two parts. This is divided into two. The first one, oftentimes your parental choices. As you could see in the answers, someone said, when we asked the first question, someone said it is because of our parental choices. Yes, that is true. That is before a certain age. So we have these two boxes. Let's assume this is your whole life. Let's visualize it. Then you have a start point at your birth, right? You have a certain part. Which part is bigger? Is it your own choices or your parental choices? As we can see, your parental choices is very little. Yes, it does determine a lot, but it is very little. By the time you get to the point of decision and you begin to make your own choices, it will determine what end you get to. I believe that everybody has a purpose. Everybody was made for a certain reason to achieve a certain goal in their lives. So, will you achieve it, or would you achieve an end that is not necessarily yours? That could be maybe out of your own ambition or out of your own negligence, whatever it is. It leads you to a certain end. And this end determines what you pass on to your next generation, to your children. How they start their own journey is totally up to you on the choices you made. Just like where I started my journey from, I believe my parents played a certain role and got me to where I am. It's my own choices now that will determine where my generation goes to. So that dream that you want to build, how are you going to pass it on? How are your choices going to lead you to passing it on? Because the dream is not just for you. It's not just to end with you. I believe that your dream or your purpose is not oftentimes for you. Someone said that rivers don't drink their own water, and I agree with it. Trees don't eat of their own fruit. So also, your own purpose is not necessarily to feed you, but is actually to feed others and to make other people's lives better. So it's important for you to know how best you pass on that dream. How do you get to your destined end? By making everyday choices that will lead you to that destined end. Oftentimes, a lot of us do not know how this can happen. So I will continue to talk about this, and I hope that some questions that we'll be talking about in the next slides will help us get some more clarity. So I want us to identify and write down where you want to be spiritually, mentally, and physically. What was your goal in these three parts? Because I believe that everybody is made up of these three parts. You have a spiritual part of you. You have a mental part of you, and you also have a physical part of you. The mental one could also be an emotional part of you. So there's this saying that you are spirit, soul, and body, right? So if we are to put these three together and you say you are spiritual, you have your soul, which is your mental or emotional part, and then you have the physical part. So what are the goals for each of them? For you to be balanced, you need these three to be balanced. You cannot neglect one for the other. And that's a mistake that we often make. Many of us make this mistake. We get to a point whereby we focus just on our physical part, where we say success is basically about money. I remember reading a book as a teenager. I tried to look for that book so much, I didn't see it. I saw it was like a scrapbook I just saw in a library. It had no cover. So till today, I can't even remember the name of the book. But it talked about man in 7 ways. Man and himself, man and his God, man and his family. It's just described man. Like when I mean man, I mean human being. Yeah. So not man as in the sex, but like, how are you in terms of success? How are you able to be successful on every front? So this is quite important. What habits are you forming or putting in place to ensure that you meet these goals spiritually, mentally, and physically? How many books do you read in a year? How often do you read? Do you pray? Do you read and not pray? There are things that we do. I believe that for you to really be a successful person or to achieve that dream, you need to have a balance in these three. I want you to also identify and write down where you are right now in your life. For you to make any progress, you must first of all identify, where am I right now? How does it relate to my achieving those goals? How far am I away? I'll give you an example. If you were coming to meet me somewhere at an address and I told you, oh, okay, the first thing, and you call me and you say, okay, where are you? I'll be like, the first thing you say is, I will say, okay, where have you gotten to? If you don't identify where you have gotten to, it might become very difficult for me to continue describing for you. You understand? So it's important for us to do that. So I see someone raising their hand. I think the time is gone.
Yes, sir. We have about 5 minutes left.
Fine, great. So basically, we also have to write down the major decisions and the choices you think you influence where you are right now. So what are the major decisions that have gotten you to where you are right now? So it's important to write those down. List the actions and resources you need to take to achieve your goals. What are those things mentally, physically, and spiritually? List the likely barriers that can hinder or help you in achieving these goals. So it's important to also list what is all those barriers and what can help you, and also the needs. So there is this need matrix that I have. So I have this chart. If you can look at it and put the percentage in terms of scale of need, it will be very helpful. Look at it and come up with, put your matrix. How do you assign time to this? Which of these do you need the most? Put it in numbers, and it could really help you determine a lot. So this need chart is aimed at identifying the scale of importance for you. When you have, I'll quickly talk about the needs and time relation. Attention is how you measure your time. What do you give your attention to? What do you give your attention to in terms of your time? Because what you focus on really is what determines what you get. Like someone talked about the phone being an energy drainer or a time drainer. It's something that you have to really do, and make sure that you have that time. How much do you spend? Do you allocate to your phone? How much time do you allocate to books that you read? So basically, I think this brings me to the end of my talk today. And I want to quickly just show you something I would like to introduce to you going forward for next time. It is the ARC matrix. Basically, it's a matrix that I developed back in 2014, and it's very, very good and useful to help you make choices, especially relating to life partners. So it's a deep one, and I would like to share it some other time, and we could discuss about it. Thank you very much.
Wow. I mean, I had to rush all the speakers. We're hoping we could end this by 7. This is 7:36, so hopefully we'll be out of here in 4 minutes. Yeah, Rita's hand is up. Please, can we give it up for our speakers? I was really hoping we could do questions and answers, but we cannot. I don't know. Can I give the floor to just one person if you want to just talk and give your critical take home in this very, very amazing session? Please, can you raise up your hand or drop something in the chat room? I want to say a very, very, very big thank you to everyone. One of the things David started saying, and truly that is one thing that resonates with both of us when we are talking, when we get chance to connect in the middle of our very busy schedule, is Nigerians will change Nigeria. Africans will change Africa. If we keep expecting, and that's why it looks like nothing is moving. When you and I change, then the society will change. And if we've all agreed that we, the people, are the greatest assets of the land, the question is, what are we doing about ourselves? What are we doing about our talents? The joy is going to be that by 2026, when we are doing a review of everything we've learned, and I'm looking at you, I was chatting some people today in the Read community especially, and I said, I'm on the lookout for you. You can't go through those coaching sessions, listen to things like this. We've read our first book. David was asking, how many books are you going to read? It's intentionality. It's not going to be easy. If you keep on living the life you were living in 2023, 2024, 2025, there's nothing that's going to happen. Your 2026 will continue the same way. So how intentional are you going to be about your life in this coming year? And is that something that was so profound? As in, when I heard that, I said, God, you have to help me. The road that your parents have lived for you, they've put you here. Now what are you going to leave for your children? People that move around me, they know one statement I really hate is the good old days. Like I feel that anybody that used that statement is saying that they lived a wasted life. How can you be saying, we can't in this generation, anybody on this call, I don't care how old you are opening your mouth and you're saying the good old days. Like seriously, don't let us even go there. So what is your life about that the yesterday is better than the today? what are we even saying? If you look at world changes, in quote, and it's neither here nor there, is how old were some of these people when they were making the changes they were changing? So you how old are you? Then you open your mouth and say, good, please, not in this age and time. So I'm going to round up by reading Bumi's takeaway. Thank you so much for Bumi. And Bumi and I were doing some level of recaps before this meeting. So I'm sure this absolutely resonates with her. Bumi is one of those anchors, those those towers that you have. She's there. She'll be coming in here. Yeah. She was saying, I've been listening silently, but one major takeaway from me is that my life is in my hands, and I must be intentional to do the work in me first, whether building the life that I love or building a vision board for the life that I want and the person I want to become. So, thank you very much, everyone. With this, we've come to the end of our first webinar in Read Cohort 5. Please, can we open up our mics and say thank you to all the speakers? Follow us on our social media handles, and yeah, please do try to reach out to us. We are always there. So please, can we open our mics and say thank you to the speakers? Hey, Omar Roberts just came back.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the
Wonderful.
speakers.
Thank you.
I can see Omar joining back. I really wanted to hear Omar's feedback. Hello, Omar. So as we're rounding up, you are joining us for the first time. So tell us, how was your experience?
I was just talking to a cousin of mine, and I'm like, I have just had a reset to relaunch meeting.
I love that.
That's the summary I would like to call this meeting. Thank you for prepping me to step out of my comfort zone.
To relaunch. So all the speakers, you heard that. So this has been absolutely amazing. I can see the feedbacks on the chat. And I'm sure even for the silent people that are talking, and I used to be like that. When I used to attend all those webinars, I would be at the back. I'll be keeping quiet. I'll be thinking of my life. Say, God, why? But when I finally came out, they're like, where did she come out from? So I know to the people that are silent, you are thinking like I was some years back, and you're coming back. Thank you so much, everyone. And from me, it's good night and God bless. See you in 2026. Bye.